for all the examples we've seen. Him suing Showtime for $300 million, him foreclosing on multiple properties, him losing on investments on multiple properties, him buying a lot of depreciating assets, and him all of a sudden looking to box very much in the year 2026. Floyd losing money Mayweather, as the chatter says, is in dire straits financially.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like him.
Some people will say, you know, he's suing now because of his gambling habits, which was not hidden. It was not a secret. He would post, not Teddy Atlas talking about anything that wasn't out there. He would post some of his tickets, his betting tickets that he bet, and they were large bets. And so some people say, oh yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever.
Floyd Mayweather, who was once known as one of the wealthiest figures in the world of sports, is now experiencing a serious decline. There is noticeable sorrow and frustration within the boxing community as legal issues begin to surround him. Additionally, Manny Pacquiao might take legal action against him because of something he recently said about their past match.
No joy. We are not one of these sick people, and I call them sick. I'm not afraid to say what I feel. That's in their underwear in grandmother's basement or wherever the frick they are, taking pot shot at people because of their misery, because of their misfortune, because they're in a bad place. Shame on you. And shame on the people out there. I know that there's some of them. Everyone knows I don't really read that internet unless somebody shows me specifically some stuff. And I saw some of the stuff. I didn't want to see any more, so I told them, don't show me any more. But I saw enough to see what was out there. People taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point. And now they're taking shots at him. Like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great...
New reports suggest that Mayweather's enormous fortune might not be as solid as it seemed, with mentions of financial claims, property seizures, outstanding debts, and borrowed against possessions such as real estate and a personal aircraft. And it's said that lenders are chasing him for unpaid fuel bills. On top of that, Mayweather has stirred up fresh debate with his latest remarks regarding the Pacquiao bout, claiming it's just a showcase event even though he accepted money for a professional matchup, which could place him in violation of his agreement.
Had to say the fight weekend of Fundora and Thurman. Apparently he did an interview, said that it was an exhibition, that these guys didn't have anything to prove, that their legends were already set in stone, and that it would be an exhibition. He wasn't sure if it was going to be at the Sphere. Apparently, that is not true. According to a Boxing Scene article that interviewed Jazz Mathur, the CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, said that, yes, the fight is contracted for the Sphere, booked at the Sphere, scheduled at the Sphere for September 19th. It is booked as a professional fight, not as an exhibition. It was never booked as an exhibition, which makes sense because Netflix got behind it, and I would assume that they would not want an exhibition. We said the other day, I think it was actually yesterday, we said that this fight has to be a real fight and not an exhibition because one, Netflix is involved, two, Manny Pacquiao wants that get back, and two, also just betting lines. It's a huge aspect of this sport and this kind.
On Twitter, Mike Carpenter brought attention to Floyd Mayweather's questionable remarks, pointing out that they directly go against what Netflix officially announced. And if he keeps trying to turn it into an exhibition match, he could be violating his contract. Wade Plemon added that after Floyd accepted signing fees and upfront payments for a real professional bout, calling it an exhibition now shows he may be trying to deceive Netflix and Manny's camp. Floyd pulled a similar trick before during the Logan Paul fight, earning $10 million in cash by pre-selling the event using someone else's name and image.
Something is off. Something's completely off because you got one person saying, this is a real fight. You got the promotion saying, this is a real fight. You got Floyd Mayweather saying, no, this is an exhibition. There's two things that are happening here. Either somebody messed up in paperwork or in communication or in some form of getting this fight together, misspoke to one of these guys, or Floyd Mayweather is trying to scam Netflix. That is the only two things that can be possible here. Because we then get the report, as of yesterday, that Floyd Mayweather has already taken a cash advance payment of his purse for the upcoming Manny Pacquiao rematch on Netflix, despite it currently being in jeopardy. I don't even know how that's possible. Who gave him a cash advance before they even got to the fight? I understand like paying some up front to secure the fight, but paying everything? Maybe it's not what it is. Maybe the cash advance is like...
Teddy Atlas calls the situation truly unfortunate, explaining that from time to time, athletes don't have the proper individuals handling their money matters. And that is precisely what occurred in Floyd Mayweather's situation.
Fighters, they risk everything. They risk so much. And then everything they took the risk for sometimes is lost. Whether it was Joe Louis, whether whoever. It never becomes not sad or unfortunate to hear. Never. It's look, you could say it's their responsibility. It is. It is. You got to know what's going on. But there are also sharks in this business, in any business. And sometimes these athletes, I wouldn't even specify fighters. We're talking about fighters. But you hear it in football, Bud. You were around it. You hear it in basketball. Sometimes these athletes, they don't have the right people around them to look out for them. To properly educate them, to properly advise them. Hey, some don't listen.
Jonah Renitz is a disputed entrepreneur and longtime partner of Floyd Mayweather Jr., often described as a central person in handling Mayweather's ventures after boxing and property investments. Fight Opinion on X says, a number of Pacquiao's people are threatening legal action against Floyd Mayweather concerning the Sphere fight on Netflix. That isn't the only legal threat directed at Floyd or his top partner, Jonah Renitz. Jonah was supposed to serve time in prison. Now, there's a new development. Manny states it's a true competition and he will not take part in a showcase event. Floyd has signed the agreement, so he has to compete professionally since Manny is demanding a proper sanctioned match.
Exhibition and not a real fight?
Is that what's his feeling? But he signed a real fight.
So it's for sure?
Yes, the contract that we signed is a real fight.
Real fight, okay. Yeah, because I know he said
I want to fight an exhibition.
No exhibition. It's either real fight or nothing.
Yeah, it's a real fight. Yeah.
The Sphere still in Las Vegas?
That's the contract that he signed. I mean.
Okay, so it's still happening then.
He has to remember.
Joe Rogan points out that Floyd Mayweather was, for more than 10 years, quite possibly the biggest American attraction in boxing. He defeated Manny Pacquiao in 2015 during what was then the highest-grossing match ever, displaying excellent defensive skills, fast hands, and the money-make character that drove his fame.
Shifted from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather. Changed the whole thing.
He knew what he was doing.
He definitely did. It would have been an interesting fight had he fought Pacquiao when he was younger, in his prime. It would have been a very different fight.
Would have been a more interesting fight.
Much more different.
Because
much more difficult
any go-forward physical warrior like Pacquiao is going to wear down.
Right, exactly.
And any brilliant counterpuncher like Floyd is going to retain more.
Yeah.
So he did.
Yeah, it would have been much more interesting when they were younger. Also, the fact that Pacquiao fought him with a bum shoulder. That was a disaster, too.
Money talks.
Yeah. I mean, look, I guess he was faced with this thing, legacy, it was the biggest pay-per-view of all time in boxing, correct?
I believe so.
And I think it was like 4 million buys or something crazy like that.
It was huge.
So, what is
that? It was
that?
massive.
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather has always shown off his riches, spending freely on expensive timepieces, flashy vehicles, and signing massive checks like $18 million, as if money had no value. He constantly displayed his fortune, acting invincible and careless about financial outcomes. Yet now he has brought a legal claim against his former broadcast partner, Showtime, and its ex-president, Steven Espinoza, stating that he is due $340 million. This legal action highlights the contrast between his public image of unlimited wealth and the complicated financial conflicts behind the scenes, proving that even someone as wealthy and admired as Mayweather encounters difficulties when money, agreements, and responsibilities collide.
Talk about it, 18 mil retired. I know some people gonna be like, well, you said, I didn't want to say I was active, because that's normal. Right. I said I wasn't activated. I knew what I said. So a lot of times I'm like, oh, you didn't say it right. I know I said it right. I knew what I said. I knew what I posted.
I don't really care how much you make, bro. I feel like writing an $18 million check has to feel some sort of way, though.
That's crazy. I didn't want to do it. Of course, I'm like, who wants to give up basically 20 million?
You wrote 18,180,000,000.00. Like, bro, that's crazy.
You know, I got huge deals on the table, so I'm always making shake.
What's the biggest thing you got working right now?
I can show you this. Come here. So come here. So
dude, what is it?
Let me keep this long, okay? So right here.
That's crazy.
I just keep stuff on the low.
Yeah, my math don't work like that. My math.
So now, when we gonna cut it against?
50 Cent has mentioned that people dislike Floyd Mayweather due to his cash-driven matchups and his behavior, constantly bragging about his fortune. Fans have always wanted to see Mayweather lose. However, Floyd has turned that hostility into an advantage for himself. Despite the negativity, it boosts pay-per-view numbers and generates huge revenue, converting public frustration into profit. His skill for capitalizing on both praise and criticism has made him one of boxing's most lucrative and infamous personalities, showing that even backlash can be turned into earnings when paired with talent, self-assurance, and the money-make character that defines his career.
He said something to me one time, very simple. He said, what a prize fighter fight for? And I'm like, and he said, the prize. So it's okay for you to watch the fight. Don't nobody watch Floyd fight to see how amazing he is. They watch it for the opportunity to see him lose.
Right.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows, you know.
Max Kellerman explains that boxers like Floyd Mayweather, who overspend and don't make smart financial choices, often face major money troubles after their peak years. He stresses that even athletes who earn huge amounts can struggle down the road if they don't handle their finances carefully. Kellerman notes that spending too much without preparing for the future creates unavoidable problems once income starts to drop. He uses Floyd as an example, illustrating how a lack of financial planning can lead to legal battles, debt, and the need to step back into the ring. Careful money management is essential for lasting stability, even for the highest paid athletes.
Feel about like Floyd with the 3 fights that's coming up. Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather. I think the guy's from Greece or something like that. What do you feel about great champions doing these kind of fights as well? Or just these kind of fights that's going on?
They need money.
Damn.
Yeah, when you need money. This is the problem with boxing. You think about financial literacy, right? And you talk about like NFL players or NBA players. There's support systems for those dudes. There's nothing like that for fighters. They got to figure it out all themselves. And if you're a fighter, that means you did not have options.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like basketball or football. If you could, like, by the way, football players couldn't play basketball or they play basketball. It's a better deal, right? That's if you can, you do. And boxers couldn't do either one of those things, right? They're too small or they got hurt, whatever it is. And so you're dealing with a section of our...
Max Kellerman criticizes Floyd Mayweather for poorly handling his fortune, pointing out his extreme spending on expensive cars, timepieces, and betting. He notes that showing off money without proper planning results in financial trouble. Kellerman recognizes that lots of athletes deal with the same issue, ending their careers with very little despite making millions. He stresses that even the biggest earners need to manage their money wisely because indulgence and reckless buys can quickly eat away at wealth. Floyd's behaviors serve as a warning, proving that constant overspending and ignoring investments create lasting difficulties. forcing even famous athletes to face money struggles later in life.
That there's no support or kind of structure in place to help them at all. And so what usually happens with almost every fighter who ever lived, not everyone, but most of them, is they wind up going broke at a certain point, right? First of all, taxes, child support, all that kind of stuff, that promoters, this and that, and then just the way you spend your money. Could be bad investments. You could try to do the right thing and wind up with bad investments. You could just spend too much. And the thing is, if you're not the best in the world anymore, but you're one of, let's say, the 50 best in the world at what you do in your weight class, still hard to tell that dude, you can make $100 million. No, don't do that because you're old.
Right.
Why would he not?
Wade Plemons reports that Floyd Mayweather has already taken a cash advance for his upcoming rematch with Manny Pacquiao on Netflix, even though the fight is still up in the air. He questions how this is possible, mentioning that while some upfront money to secure a bout is typical, giving the entire purse beforehand is uncommon. ESPN and Mike Kopinger have both verified the advance. Plemons explains that Floyd has a long pattern of taking advances and undermining event promotions to protect his undefeated record while still bringing in income. He cites past situations, including exhibitions against Deji and Logan Paul, where Floyd demanded huge payments or refused to compete. Now, Plemons warns that Floyd's behavior might result in legal issues since Pacquiao's team claims Floyd signed 3 separate contracts for a professional matchup, has been paid multiple times, and has taken an extra cash advance, showing a clear pattern of financial trickery that could lead to lawsuits.
This is to be believed, and this is via ESPN. This is not, random Twitter person reporting this. I think Mike Kopinger also reported the same thing. If this is to be believed, Floyd took a cash advance and then undermined the promotion of his own fight to try to protect his 50-0 record and still make a bag. Floyd has done this for years. He has done this for years, especially after his pro career. When he was doing these exhibitions, he would not show up to things he was obligated to do, take advances. Even the Deji fight, you can ask Deji, I was there. Floyd demanded that they pay him some insane amount of money or he wasn't going to fight Deji while he was at the venue. And they wanted to change gloves and do all this stuff. And I think they actually did it. They paid Floyd to do it. And I've seen this with a bunch of his exhibitions. And obviously we know about the Logan Paul situation, how Floyd shopped his fight to a different company after essentially scamming royalty like Prince, whoever in Dubai.
Jason Whitlock highlights widespread talk about Floyd Mayweather's financial situation, including bankruptcy, selling off properties, and running out of money, which supposedly explains his fight with Mike Tyson. He points out that Floyd wasted huge amounts living in Las Vegas, trying to keep up a glamorous lifestyle and seem relatable while constantly boasting about his wealth. Whitlock criticizes this behavior, calling it an example of the risks of living for the culture, putting image ahead of smart money management. Now at 49, Mayweather is stepping back into the ring, showing the results of overspending and mishandling his finances despite his past achievements and status as a boxing legend.
Social media, there are rumors and stories coming out about Floyd Mayweather, him auctioning off property, him being in bankruptcy, him being out of money, and that's why he's going to fight Mike Tyson. Saw this incredible tweet where a guy listed all the things Floyd Mayweather wasted money on while living in Las Vegas and just living for the culture. That's what Floyd Mayweather is an example of. The stupidity of living for the culture and trying to be relatable and trying to be this incredible icon or example of, look how much money I've made. He's blown it all, and now at 49 years old, he's got to go back into the boxing ring and continue to fight because he's in a lot of...
Paulie believes that Floyd Mayweather's questionable remarks might actually end up being the biggest reason people buy the fight. By saying bold things and creating arguments, Floyd grabs attention, making sure more people talk about and tune in to the match. Paulie suggests that all of Floyd's statements, whether about the fight being an exhibition or a pro bout, could be part of a plan to build excitement. This focus, driven by conflict, boosts public curiosity and pay-per-view numbers. Basically, the more people discuss and debate Mayweather's claims, the more popular the event becomes. Pauly implies that Floyd may be purposely fueling the conversation, using public anger and curiosity as a promotional tool to maximize viewers and earnings.
Mayweather has to agree to whatever the contract is. If it's a fight, I think one of the comments the other day really made a point that, one of the comments in our chat made a point that, has really stuck with me. Mayweather has to know the terms he agreed to. Come on, I mean, you can't just sign something and not know those terms. He's got to know that if it is, in fact, it has to be a fight, then he would do this. And he knows he's got to go through with a fight. He may just be saying this just to sell the fight in general, just to sell it as, make it a talking point, make it a controversial point, so that people want to wind up, talking about it more. It becomes a topic of discussion, and then from that perspective, people end up watching. More people end up watching it because it becomes more of a polarizing topic of conversation. So I don't know. I see this eventually getting straightened out. I think it has to. I mean, Floyd has to fight right now. I think Mayweather probably wants to fight right now. I mean, Mayweather wants to fight and probably has to fight right now, and Pacquiao seems to want to and have to as well.
And that wraps things up for today's episode. Be sure to stick around for more.